Betty Alford. I'm Department Chair for Educational Leadership Department at Cal Poly Pomona, and we're so pleased to be here today with our guest to tell you more about the Preliminary Administrative Services Credential Program that we offer. Each guest will introduce themselves.
I'm Christina James. I had the wonderful pleasure of going through the program in 2020, and it's my pleasure to be here today. Thank you.
I'm Troy McNabb. I went through the program in 2023. It's a pleasure to be here. Great program.
Hi, I'm Dana Mitchell. I'm an assistant professor here at Cal Poly Pomona in the program.
And I'm Jeff Seymour. I'm the program coordinator and an adjunct instructor, and I've been teaching the program for about 20 years.
You know, we're here to talk about the strengths of the program, the things that stood out to you, the things that prepared you for that first administrative role, and from our professors, the things that they hope for as they lead this program. So tell us about your current position and what happened after you graduated from this program, and how did it prepare you for that next step?
Well, I had the opportunity to interview for a director of special education position immediately following my completion of the program with Mr. Seymour here at the helm, and I was had the good fortune of being hired into that first position after completing the program. What I would say really helped to prepare me for the program was the real world experience through the cohort that we had. We were able to read relevant literature. We were able to have speakers that gave us real world examples of what the work would look like. We had wonderful spirited conversations to create those synergy opportunities for connection among the peer group. And then I would say that we had those opportunities to have the scenarios to work through challenges and practice what the difficulties would be and how to respond to them appropriately. And I would say to be the cherry on top of that experience was the practicing of the interview with Mr. Seymour. He held our hand really through that process, and I really felt well equipped to walk through the process. And even now to this day, I'm gleaning from the opportunities that I had through the program. The books are still on my active bookshelf and reading them. The Way of the Shepherd is literally on my desk right now, and it's helping me to lead the staff that I serve. And so I'm very, very grateful to the program.
How wonderful to hear.
Yes.
Troy, you had a unique experience that you were an intern while you were going through the program. Might explain what that was like.
Yeah, so during my year going through the program, I was filling in as interim dean. So the dean was filling in for another AP position. So throughout the program, I was in and out of the classroom. So I ended up filling in as dean 3 times. So fortunately, when I was going through the program, a lot of the people who were in my cohort worked with me. So I was able to build the stronger connections with really strong personalities on my campus, which helped a lot, helped me to have a successful year in a really tough position, because as dean, you're dealing with all the discipline, you get all the parent complaints, the teacher complaints. So the program really helped me to hone the craft of dealing with people and seeing each person as an individual, having empathy for the administrators, the teachers, the parents, seeing things from multiple perspectives. So Professor Mitchell and Professor Seymour gave personal stories, great examples. So I learned a lot from them, and I was able to incorporate a lot of what they were teaching in my practice. So even though I was intern, I feel like to a lot of the staff members, I came off as experienced, as though I did it for years.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Where I was able to even take on leadership roles within my district, running PDs and doing spotlights, which I still do today. And I learned a lot from this program in doing that. And even the programs that I implemented on my campus, like mentorship programs for ELD students, mentorship programs for our At Promise students. A lot of that was based in I mean, based on the readings that we did in class, and I just applied it. So based on research and application.
Love it.
So.
Dr. Mitchell, you were an associate superintendent before you joined us as a faculty member, and so a lot of real experience there, and also a former principal. And so what do you view as the strengths of the program? Why do you like teaching in this program?
One of the standout features, I think, in our program is that this program prepares educators at every level to be in leadership positions. So whether or not someone is applying for, let's say, an administrative job at the site or at the district level, it's an opportunity for you to learn leadership skills and gain the knowledge to be able to develop relationships with people. And like you were saying, to step into other leadership roles, it really does prepare you so you can really, at any level, you can decide to join a committee or lead a committee. And so that's one of the things I think that's a kind of a standout. So you can be ready at any point in your career when you're ready to jump into an administrative position. I think it gives a lot of, like you were saying, both of you saying, a lot of real world examples, practical experience. I think one of the other pieces is also that we focus on really how you build relationships with people at the site, right? And how, as we lead the work, we're also building the capacity of other people to lead the work also at the site. So that's something that we focus on, and I'm very proud of as well.
Yes.
Jeff, as someone teaching in the program over 20 years and leading the program these years, and still teaching in the program as well, and with 25 years as a former superintendent, talk to us about what strikes you as the strengths of the program. Why do you stay with this program?
I think that we're all teachers at heart and always will be, and we love teaching, but we all had the desire to take it to a wider audience, a wider effect. And it wasn't that we wanted to leave teaching, we wanted to take the best elements of teaching and make sure that a school, a district, a wider group would be affected. By being in the program, I think that we get to work with people every week who have that mindset, wonderful teachers who want to do more. They don't maybe quite know what they want to do yet, but they want to do more. We were the same way and still are. We all are looking to try to make sure that children, students, families are connected to better futures. This program, by enabling people to develop relationships, to see growth in themselves, all of them grow as leaders. That's what I love from the start of the semester, in the first semester. You see this growth of each of our students in so many ways in developing their leadership skills, their confidence, their questions, and their motivations, so that by the end of the program, we have cohorts who are ready to go out and do the work of site and district leadership. That to me is so exciting to see. It just renews the work every year because we have different students, different groupings, but that drive to impact the futures of many children through leadership and building leadership, as Dana said, not just in yourself, but in all the people that you work with, including our parents. It's very important. That's what makes it so fun. And yet, it's very serious work because we, to me, represent a very important public institution that we just cannot do anything but our best to help it be more effective with children and families.
Wonderful. We are so mission driven, aren't we, to make a difference in the lives of students. There are many programs that are online these days. What was it about the format of the program? You came together one night every week for a fall, spring, and 5 weeks of the summer. How did that work for you? How was that useful?
For me, it allowed me to have work-life balance. I am a mother, I'm a wife, I am a public school employee, and it was important to me to find a program that would allow me still to show up authentically in all of my roles and thrive. And this program really allowed for that with the format of really dedicating the one night where I could focus on being a student that one night, and then have the opportunity as I could to finish the homework and the assignments and such. But it really allowed and afforded that opportunity for me to have the work-life balance while still receiving an excellent high quality level of my education. Cal Poly Pomona, the standard was clearly high, but it really allowed for that synergy to occur within all of the roles where I needed to still be excellent.
That's great.
Yes. So for me, being able to be in class with my colleagues was appealing to me. So just going through that process with people I knew, people I can connect to, people who worked in my district. So my cohort, just going in, I knew 80% of the students who went in. So that helped a lot as far as us building those relationships, working together, working through problems, even cohorts that came before and after we were building relationships based on this program. And it helped a lot. We were able to bounce ideas off each other, create. I'm a creator. Anyone who knows I like to create. So just having those colleagues bouncing out ideas, and I would just say just going through the process together. It was really strong, and once a week, that format was great. I'm a father, husband, and I don't have good work balance, I'll be honest. So for someone who's always going and working, this program helped a lot as far as the hours, and then getting the first-hand experience from people who actually care. So for a lot of us who went through that program, we really appreciated the great professors that we got who had real-world experience. There are some programs where you get people who went through the education part, but they don't have the real-life application, the real-life experience. So learning from highly educated, experienced people who have done great things helped a lot.
Yes. We've been so fortunate to pull on even adjuncts who work with us, always people with vast experience, and we know many of them because they went through our doctoral program at Cal Poly Pomona, and we know how great they are, and so we've been able to tap into them and draw from that. We've gone to districts, for example, Azusa District. What do you see, Dana, as a highlight of offering the classes at sites? We're at Azusa, we're at Ontario Montclair, we're in Whittier, we're in Pomona. What's the advantage of that?
Yeah, I get a lot of positive feedback from our students in this cohort model when we host it at the school sites. Number one, it's local. They're not fighting traffic. They don't have to find a parking place and walk, far to get to the class. So it's very convenient. In terms of time, it may allow them to stay at their site a little bit longer, or if they have a meeting, right, where they need to, to be on campus. And so the idea of proximity, I believe, is very helpful. The other thing is, as you were pointing out too, is that you develop a relationship with the people in your cohort who are also in the vicinity, right? Yes. So you're developing professional, collegial relationships and friendships as well. The cohort model is very strong. People are really building those relationships and making connections. And so also having it, I think too, in the different districts also enables us to build relationships with the districts with whom we are working. And so we often invite district administrators from those districts to come and do some guest speaking. They're beautiful facilities. We get lots of really wonderful support from the districts. And so everything that I've heard and feedback from students really indicates that they really appreciate having those, the classes on the sites where the districts are. It's a little more convenient, and I think it's conducive, to just traveling and a little easier for them to get to. So they appreciate it.
It's wonderful. Jeff, would you add your perspectives about that? And also, Dana touched on the idea of the administrators as guest speakers, but you've been instrumental in also bringing noted authors as guest speakers. So talk to us about that.
Sure. One of the things I love about the cohort system, just to kind of cap a little bit of everybody's thoughts, it doesn't just end when you get your credential and you're out and you're in a position. I have seen cohorts that we had 5-10 years ago where they still meet, still gather, still cheer each other on as they are applying for positions. It forms bonds that are career long, if not longer. Having been in such a cohort myself, when I was getting my admin credential, I know that to be true, and it pleases me to see our students build those long-term relationships beyond just getting the credential or the degree. And so I think that's another side benefit. Your second question, Betty.
Well, you've been instrumental in bringing guest speakers to our program.
It's so fun because I tell the students, if you know of someone who you think represents leadership in an excellent way, invite them to talk to me and we'll see if we can have them. So we've had that level of participation. Everybody from the president of Yum Yum Donuts and a Standard Oil executive, where they talked about common traits of leadership, that I think it's good for us to keep that balance in our view and not just be totally focused on the work we do, understanding how it fits in the world. The second thing is that people who are noted authors, researchers, and have published wonderful books are willing to come and speak. And so we have had many authors from various aspects of educational pedagogy, instructional leadership, relationship building, the hard look at data and outcomes. We are so lucky to have people come and say, let me work with you, talk with your students, and they are so generous with their time. And I think it adds a dimension to our program that I find really very positive in terms of making us all kind of think beyond our territories. It really keeps us, if not cutting edge, certainly close to it.
I love it. Dana, something that's changed over the years is that the state now requires 3 cycles of assessments, the Cal APA, and I'm not sure if you all had to. Okay, good. So we'd like for each of you to kind of speak of that experience and how the program helped to support you to be successful.
I would love to say that the daunting idea of the Cal APA was really demystified because it was broken into chunks that we could digest. And so every assignment was connected to one of the metrics that the Cal APA was going to be assessing us for. And by the time the Cal APA was ready to be submitted and to go through that process, we were ready. We were ready. From the interviews, the little scenarios, to the actual assignments, we all of it was something that we were well prepared for and had already done in some measure by the time it was the point in the semester to submit those documents. So I felt very well prepared, was a little nervous, walking into the Cal APAs, but was able to resolve, that requirement with no problem because I felt well prepared.
That's wonderful. Yes. And those who may be listening may not realize, but that is a state requirement. And in addition to the coursework, whatever program you go through, you must also have these 3 assessments, which include facilitating a group, looking closely at data, identifying areas that need to be improved, and coaching a teacher with some very specific rubrics about how you should do that. Troy, what was your experience?
Yeah, so for me, once again, being intern dean, this was real life application for me, especially the second cycle. The groups that are now successful on my campus, I created during that time period, Cal APA. So those were meetings that were previously planned that I had, ideas that I had. I used that in the Cal APA. I had the research to back up what I was doing. I had the support of the teacher. Of all the teachers, the staff members. So this program helped me to learn how to gather support, the right way to do it. Knowing those different groups of teachers, the believers, the tweeners, the ones Muhammad referenced. So just learning personalities, learning just how to lead, how to coach. So I've become very effective in coaching teachers, in building programs, and the Cal APAs actually helped me with that. And I wouldn't have been as successful in doing those if I didn't go through this program.
Excellent.
So.
Well, thank you for saying that, because we intentionally scaffold the 3 cycles of the Cal APA into our curriculum, and it is aligned to the standards for educational administrators. And so we really take a look at those standards and look at what the rubrics are for the Cal APA, and then embed that into our curriculum and our assignments to ensure that students are prepared and are as successful as well.
Yes.
And I feel that our attitude is, it's not just to the bell that we teach. Our students gather on weekends. The cohorts will meet to work together. It builds that kind of strength of building a team together to do something really significant. It pleases me that they take it beyond our classroom time, and they take it to that level of working with each other to support each other in growth, in questioning, and in finally completing that Cal APA. They cheer each other on, and it's a really exciting part of leadership to see it actually happening through a process that, as we all know, can be daunting.
Yes. Joy, I've had also is working with the master's students. A part of the program is that everyone does the credential courses first together, but then there are some individuals who either want a second master's or maybe they don't have a master's degree, and only 3 additional courses will get that master's degree. And Dr. Mitchell and I have had the privilege to work with these outstanding students who build on their school-wide change project that they had while they were in the program, but then develop a project as part of the master's degree. What's a highlight of the master's finishing that project that you've experienced, Dr. Mitchell?
Well, I think one of the highlights is that because there is so much information, resources, there's research, there's references that students are learning in the PASC program, but they can take that and then be able to use that and deepen their knowledge around of some of those elements. So, for example, gathering data, right? So that's something that the students might want to use in terms of their methodology when they're looking at there may be a problem of practice. And so how do you analyze a problem of practice in a school, and what kind of data would you need to be able to do that? So I think that's a highlight, that what they're learning in the credential program easily segues into this master's program, and they have a plethora of opportunities to be able to draw from the knowledge that they've learned to be able to write their project.
You know what I've been so pleased with is the passion that people bring to those projects, because it's what they're interested in, something to improve their practice. Had an elementary teacher who really felt there was a bigger socio-emotional need, that teachers needed more preparation, and so she did her literature review and developed these wonderful 3 different professional development experiences as her project, but very real world to something she was interested in to help her school. And I found that with each of the students, it was something of passion for them, that some it was MTSS, it was some special ed. We need to let the parents understand more, and so sometimes it was parent training, sometimes it was a handbook or things that were developed, and along with that literature review. And 2 courses they take, which are the research courses, but at the end they have a master's degree also, and that can be a benefit, certainly, if they do not have one already, because sometimes even the pay scale can can touch on that and be helpful. It's also a segue. If you don't have a master's degree, we have an educational leadership doctoral program, and you must have a master's degree to enter the doctoral program. And we have been so thrilled. Jeff, you've sent us some of the best folks to be then in the doctoral program. They some are still finishing the very last course in that summer, and they're starting with the doctoral program, and they've just excelled and been fantastic contributors to the class.
You know, it's a real pleasure to see students find their leadership, if you want to say core, and find out how strong they really are in certain areas, and then begin to take this big idea of the next step of a doctoral degree, an EDD, and to know that they can get support at the same level that they've had in our program, in the PASC program, because they're familiar with the department and the way the department works. It gives them the confidence to take that big step and make that big commitment. And it's really exciting to see people do that. And again, it comes from finding out about how do I operate? How do I think as a leader? What can I do to help others grow? And it just kind of works very nicely together.
Yes. We hope to see that program continue to thrive in this next fall. We start our Master of Science in Educational Leadership. We have been an option under the Education Master's degree, but it will be a standalone Master's of Science in Educational Leadership, but still follow the same format. All take the credential courses together. Those courses count toward the master's degree if they choose to take the remaining courses. Well, we want to end today by sharing, what stands out to you most. What message would you like to share with someone who's considering a program? We know people have many choices, and so why Cal Poly's PASC program?
I would say choose Cal Poly's PASC program if you are concerned about supporting students, learning how to be a servant leader, being connected with passionate professionals who also have a similar vision and who are willing to be equipped with what it takes to jump right in and do the work while still enjoying the work. That's something that I learned from this program and still stands to this day.
Yes. So for me, just working with people who want to see others succeed is really big. So this program offers support from supportive people who want students to excel. They want individuals in the program to excel. They'll give you hands-on training, experience, whatever you need, all times of the day, really personable. Whatever you need, whatever you request, they're there for you. And that's really big, having that support. And I'm not sure if there's another program that offers that needed support, especially for educators who are busy, lesson planning or doing something. Educators are busy. So having people who are understanding of that and extra supportive, that really helps.
Leadership is at all levels, whether we're a classroom teacher, whether we're thinking about leading a department or becoming a school principal or a district administrator. Leadership is at all levels. And so this is a program where people really come curious, right? Wanting to know, like, how do I develop leadership skills, right? How do I come and build my own capacity to do work I might be interested in? So this is a program to learn, to be curious, to learn how to be a leader, how to inspire others and build the capacity of others to be leaders as well. And if you're interested in being a part of something bigger, right? If you're interested in supporting the community where you're working and supporting families and students and staff, to provide the best educational opportunities. And it's a journey, and all leaders start on a continuum. And so this is a place where you're going to gain practical leadership experience, and wherever you begin, you're going to learn a lot, and you're going to have a lot of fun doing it too, because we do have a lot of fun as we learn.
I get a very selfish pleasure out of being a part of the program, because I go out to visit sites and talk to our students, have a person who is their fieldwork supervisor where they work. And when I step on a campus where one of our PASC students is now an assistant principal, a principal, or I go to a district office and see them in their roles, it is so wonderful to see our students, who we all not just invested our time in, but we believe in, out doing the work, and you can just see it in the way their schools feel, and it is really exciting to see this happen. And I'd have to say, we have a lot of our students are now in these roles. Probably more often than not, when I visit a site, I'd say there's a good chance that it's one of our students who's one of the leaders, if not the leader, including a couple of superintendents. And that's it to me is a program that says, no matter what you want to do, how you want to touch more people, widen your impact, the program will support you in that role.
You know, as department chair, it's an honor for me to read those course evaluations. Every semester I get to read them all, and they're so strong. And the comments that students write mirror what you all are saying about the building of relationships, the quality of the professors, and the people who care and model that. We do try in the department very hard to model what we are espousing. And we believe very strongly in equity, and that we should be equity driven, and we should try to meet the needs of all of the students and all the parents, and listen to people. And we try to model that as well. And I see that in the course evaluations. I see that as a strength of the program and something we want to build on. And I will say, our state saw it too. We recently went through accreditation a year ago. We had no demerits. We had no areas that they cited for approval. And that's very, very good. Now, we prepared, we revised all our syllabi. We always are doing that. We're updating books. We're keeping our focus. We're talking about what matters and trying to always improve. But the accreditation team saw that, and they listened to the advisory. I was so impressed when we had the advisory council, and I think there were 20 there who were superintendents, principals, very, very busy, but gave up their time to tell of the strengths of the program. So congratulations to each of you on moving into administrative role right away. I have background as a middle school principal and earlier as an assistant of an elementary school, but proud of what you do and proud of your willingness to share this, and our wonderful professors who lead this program. Thank you for making a difference in the lives of students.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.